Hello and welcome to Coffee Talk with Karen B. Happy winter solstice, my friends. Happy winter solstice. I see all you chatting away in there. It's nice to see you all this fine Moonday morning. The Accidental Alchemist is here with Liz, the Iron Maiden, and Gregory a Go-Go says ho ho ho. Billingtano, Scrotal Xerox. You guys are funny. Alpine Endeavor, Aisling 717, Boston Ray Mud Flood Adventures, Z Proxy, Vanessa Murphy, message retracted. Well, hello Vanessa. Lowry Video Music, what's up, dude? What's up, Lowry? You're in Puerto Rico? Hey, Valley Parks. Hey, user GG2XR8IL9V. What the? Holy hell. Have you not tried to change it? There, Shauna? Have you not tried? You just not care? Jason Ray. Steven Shook. Good to see you. Hey, the Mandy Effect. Old San Juan. Hey, Jeff Rust. I am Lone Frog 4866. The chat jumped around. Listening by the pool. Flat Frank, what's up? Hey, Nico. Raven Locks. I have not attempted to change it. It's unique. It's just so funny how random and long. And it starts with user. And there's no freaking J in it anywhere. And before, it was just a J. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Anyway, it's funny. I do think it's kind of funny. It's a little funny. So crazy stuff going on, you guys. Did you hear about that? I'm actually not a NASCAR fan, but that plane crash with that NASCAR dude and his whole family, it's actually pretty freaking sad, dude. It's really sad. Because their whole family was in the plane, and it's like Christmas. It's really sad. I feel bad for those people, their family. Anyway, I didn't realize they had a whole YouTube channel, and they were like vloggers, I guess. Kind of did some vlogging. Hey, Chicago artist, good to see you. Listening from Santa's sweatshop. Greg Biffle, yeah, Billingtano. Biff and Cleet came to Helene in North Carolina and did some good, said I am. Yes. Yes. So, yeah, that was actually, that's really a sad kind of thing that happened, if you ask me. So, there's that. YouTube recommended their video to me. I'm sure YouTube algorithm did that because they passed away, right? So the YouTube started, because I don't get recommended Greg Biffle videos ever, and he had a whole bunch, right? Like, I just don't pay attention to much NASCAR stuff, so I wasn't really aware of who he was. But man, so the video that they recommended was like, we got our Christmas tree, and it was like 12 days ago. So freaking sad. Really sad, because it's like him and then their two young children, which was that girl. She was like a preteen girl, and their little boy. And the little boy is like so excited about everything. Like you could tell that little boy just loves, you know, or loved having a dad who was a race car driver and had all kinds of cool cars. And they were driving in this like 80s, like early 80s, this early 80s Cadillac limo. Oh, it's so sad, you guys. It really is sad. Really sad. Because they were like having a good old time, and then they strapped a tree to the top of this limo. It's actually pretty funny. Wow. I really feel bad for the family. And then the horn on the limo had the General Lee horn. It was all you know, so sad. That was kind of a bummer to see. Thanks, YouTube. And of course, all their fans were in the comments like, rest in peace. I was like, oh my god, so sad. You can tell though they were living a happy life. They had a happy life. Like, oh my god, how sad. Just goes to show you, man. And then there's like another video that's like more recent where he's out somewhere and some dude's telling him good luck in 2026. Man. Tragedy. Anyway. You never know. You never know. What the hell does this go to? Yeah. Lucky dog on vacation. Yeah, man. An entire family all at once, so enough with the name sounds funny. Yeah. Greg Biffle. It's a total NASCAR driver name, too. Greg Biffle. Somebody was telling me the name of somebody at their school. I think it was one of my children was telling me the name of one of their friends at school. And I'm like, dude, that sounds like a NASCAR driver name. Because it was like that. You know, there's like Cole Trickle, Greg Biffle, and it was just something like that. I can't remember what it was, and I wouldn't want to say a real child's name on here anyway, but it's just funny how there's names that sound like NASCAR driver names. You know what I'm saying? You can't deny it. You can't deny it. How far are you from Statesville? Let me see. About a little over an hour. Hour and 15 minutes about. So weird to think about the 2020s being more than half done. Yeah, I know. Hurt my hand to type. It's impossible to chat. Ricky Bobby. Went to elementary school with a girl called Crystal Chandelier. That's funny. Yeah, Statesville is where they crashed, yes. Yeah, I was watching this video. I don't want to play the video because it's this dude's video on YouTube, but he basically has like a little playthrough of the flight path, and it kind of does like through Google Earth, it'll like show you what their flight path looked like. And so it kind of, this is the approach. Uh-oh. My cat's doing bad stuff. This is the approach to the, whatchamacallit, to the airport. Right before the flight data ends. Is them trying to come into the airport. And the thing is, too, like, the weather turned bad real fast. And so, and they were coming in kind of squirrely. Like, if you watch this guy's video on his channel, is called Pilot Debrief. And it's called NASCAR legend Greg Biffle's heartbreaking plane crash. They don't know anything yet because they haven't done the investigation, right? Because it just happened. But it's pretty sad. The plane was like, the flight, it was like, you could tell it wasn't very stable. Like, it starts off normal, but then it starts to get weird. Like, they're going up and down in altitude quite a bit, and then they are coming in for the landing, and it's like they're having trouble lining up to the runway, and it gets kind of squirrely, and then the information cuts off. But yeah, anyway, it's sad. Hello, I want Chaperno. Annette Curtin. Dick Trickle wins the bizarre name contest. Mike and Mac. I noticed a few live streams I went in and named there are the same as before, and some people are like this. Well, if you claimed your channel name, like my name didn't change because I claimed it, you know, when I have a channel and I use it and stuff. But if you never did that and you don't really use your channel, then I think it just totally hosed you over. So, yeah. So, like, here's the airspeed. Here's our altitude. We're like 350 feet above ground level. That's where it stops. Anyway, it's very sad. Interesting, sad. I'm sure we'll know more later. Anyway. So my name change didn't matter much. Yes. Hey, Spicy Sarah. What's up, girl? Happy solstice. Happy solstice. There's a guy named Dick Pound. Not sure which is worse. Oh, boy. Remember Dick Buttkiss? That one I always thought was hilarious. Dick Buttkiss. Oof. Robbie Pound. The Bears guy. Dick Buttkiss, yeah. Whatever. We all said Dick Buttkiss. Penny Nicole Quarter. Hey, Redondo Rocket. It's your mom's B-Day today? Nice. She passed, unfortunately? Oh. Well, happy heavenly B-Day to your mother. This winter solstice. What did I just do to my eye? So, I don't know if you see all this crazy stuff that's in here in the news. Did it change? Oh, neo-Nazi terror group steps up U.S. operations as FBI pulls back. So we got neo-Nazi groups taking action right now. Is that what they're trying to tell us? Watch out for the neo-Nazis? I thought we had to watch out for the Muslims. Bondi Beach shooting suspect conducted firearms training with his father, Australian police say. Times of Israel. Former spy Jonathan Pollard. Israel sent a man to convince me to kill myself. You know, all the worst articles about Israel you can find in, like, Haaretz, Times of Israel, and, like, the Jewish publications. Like, they love to brag about how crappy they are. We need to watch out for Mossad. Try to need your name, YouTube won't let you. Oh no. What up, KG Bear? Message retracted. Nathan posted a video. He isn't out of the woods, but he's alive and his family needs our prayers. Thanks for all the prayers. Oh. You're talking about Nathan Reynolds? I just don't ever hear anybody talking about that guy. I guess I'm not in that circle. I'm too witchy. But they have a lot of children, and I don't wish anything bad on anybody, so I do hope they are okay. Happy early birthday to my sweet G. His birthday is tomorrow. Oh, really? Happy birthday, G! Happy birthday, G. Muslims and neo-Nazis, I'm still watching out for COVID. They want people to be safe with guns, but if you commit a mass shooting, then firearms training is a negative thing. Yeah. Well, they're already having videos of people in Australia going, well, we need to look at who, because I guess they give out licenses to carry firearms in Australia, and this guy had a license. He had a license. So he was a legal firearms owner. And then I saw an article too, right after that, about how Australia was initiating their biggest firearms buyback in 30 years because of the shooting. They're like, all right, all you lawful weapons owners who didn't do anything wrong, sell us back your guns because we need to not have all these guns on the streets wherever you're keeping them that isn't doing anything bad. We need to look like we're doing something to end the violence. Because criminals follow laws. You know what I'm saying? It's retarded. It's retarded. Iran missile drill alarms Israel as Netanyahu plans Trump meeting. They're gonna start warring with Iran again. And then, of course, there's still this whole thing with Venezuela. How are we not already in a world war? How are we not already, like, declared to be in a world war? Because it sure seems like that's what's going on. I'm just saying. It seems a little world war-y to me. It's a little world war-y up in here. You know what I'm saying? Fucking hilarious. It's been a little world war-y for a while. Trying to ramp up the flu here? Yeah, because it's that time of the year. It's flu season. It's detox season. It's detox season, and they still have everybody believing that it's a magical, mystical, magical bug that flies around and only comes around a certain time of year. To make you sick. Called the flu bug. It only comes around when the sun goes away. Measles too, yes. Pushing the measles. Liz, we miss you. Come back soon. What Sarah said. U.S. reportedly pursuing third oil tanker linked to Venezuela. We don't even have to read these articles. Just read the headlines. Oops, what'd I do? Beating of man on the bus. Okay. U.S. Justice Department halts funding for human trafficking survivors. Oh. U.S. Justice Department says, well, fuck you. You victims of human trafficking, we're not going to help you. We're going to send that money to Israel. so that they can bomb more innocent people. What's even going on with that? I've just been avoiding everything so I don't have to watch people get blown up anymore. Like, I really needed a break from watching people get blown up. Seriously. Seriously. You can't keep watching that and be okay. I can't imagine those people living through that. Like, anybody who survives that, who watches that, what's been going on, and then comes out on the other side of it, like, they would... how do they not come out hating America and Israel completely and utterly? Like, I just don't understand it. It boggles my mind. Like, I don't even want to, I can't even imagine the repercussions of what's been going on over there for the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so bad. Sarah can be pretty nerdy. Been self-dosing on nicotine patches since November and bypassed the flu. Very nice. I don't usually detox in the fall now that I have stopped suppressing the spring detox, aka seasonal allergies. I just don't have really any allergies. I don't take anything for them. I did the whole eat the raw local honey thing, and I did that, and that was it. Because when I moved here from the West Coast, I got really bad. I did have a bad allergy reaction to the plants here because it was all pretty new, and I had not really, I just, it's a new area, new flora. So I did that. This is why I swear by it. I went to a local farmer market and I bought a jar of raw local honey and I ate it raw. I took a spoonful a day for a while. And then I was putting it in tea and stuff. And I'm telling you, man, I don't think I've had an allergic day really since. Nothing really significant that I can remember. Like, sometimes a little bit of sneezing, but nothing major. Nothing to where I'm like, I can't breathe, or like is a severe or allergic reaction. So I'm just saying. Hey, Vern. Been seeing some good Dave Chappelle clips regarding his stance about Israel. Oh, really? Wonder if I can play those, or I'll probably get you get copywritten for all that stuff, man. What am I looking at? Is this my local time? Yes, this is my local time. So yeah, today is the first day where the days start to get a little bit longer. Right, so yesterday it was -1 second, today it's +1 second, and then tomorrow +5, then +8, then +11, so on and so forth, adding a few seconds every day, so we can start heading into the longer days again. Very nice. That's what I'm looking forward to. Looking forward to the solar return. How are today's word hints a headline? I don't know. For December 23rd. Today's the 22nd. Wait, why am I clicking? Oh, this is the spy. Israel sent a man to convince me to kill myself. Why don't you just do the right thing and we'll bring you home, give you a nice burial? Former spy for Israel, Jonathan Pollard, attends the funeral of his wife Esther in Jerusalem, January 31st, 2022. Convicted spy Jonathan Pollard claimed in an interview broadcast on Monday that he was told years ago by someone sent by the Israeli government that he should commit suicide to close the door on his case, which had caused a major rift between Israel and the U.S. The recording, which was aired on Army radio, featured Pollard recounting a conversation he had with an apparent Israeli agent sometime between his release from a U.S. prison in 2015 and his immigration to Israel in 2020. He said, "You're a patriot, right? You love your country," Pollard recounted. "Why don't you just do the right thing and we'll bring you home, give you a nice burial on Mount Herzl?" So we can close the door on this case, the Israeli man continued. According to Pollard, referring to the main military cemetery in Jerusalem. I didn't understand what he meant, Pollard said. How do you not understand? Pollard, a U.S. Navy intelligence analyst, was arrested in 1985, pled guilty to passing thousands of crucial U.S. documents to Israel, and sentenced to life in prison. Which documents did he give? And this is our greatest ally. The incident caused a major crisis in relations between Jerusalem and Washington. After his release in 2015, he was kept in the United States by parole rules until 2020, when the U.S. Justice Department lifted the restrictions and he was able to emigrate to Israel. They let him go? He commit treason? Well, I guess that's not treason if you're not a U.S. citizen. But, I mean, if a U.S. citizen did that, that would be treason, and that's punishable by death. And they just let him go. He didn't even spend his whole life. Look at him there. He looks pretty healthy. Immigrated to Israel, which granted him citizenship in 1995. Oh, so was he a U.S. citizen then? If he didn't get citizenship to Israel until 1995, then he was. Yeah, no? North Carolina, at the Federal Correctional Institution in Butner, North Carolina. Butner? Oy vey. Pollard was welcomed at the time as a hero by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, of whom he became an outspoken supporter, although in recent years he has begun to voice criticism of the premier. In his interview with Army Radio, Pollard also said that he opposes any foreign military presence in Israel and views the Civil Military Coordination Center in Kiryat Gat as a threat to Israel's sovereignty. The CMCC, established under U.S. leadership, is designed to coordinate humanitarian, logistical, and security assistance in Gaza, while helping oversee the post-war stabilization phase. It is home to a host of troops from the U.S., Jordan, and the UK, Germany, Denmark, Canada, Australia, France, Spain, and the United Arab Emirates. I don't want to see any of them for whatever reason, he said of foreign military personnel in Israel. Why did the U.S. let this guy go? The ex-spy hit international headlines last month after the New York Times reported on a secret meeting he held earlier this year in the U.S. Embassy with U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee, which raised eyebrows in the American intelligence community. What? Huckabee hosted ex-spy Jonathan Pollard for a meeting at U.S. Embassy, New York Times reports. CIA Israel Station Chief said, alarmed at meeting White House not informed ahead of time, Pollard served 30 years in prison for handing over classified U.S. documents to Israel. Ambassador Mike Huckabee hosted a meeting at the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem with Jonathan Pollard, the former spy who gave reams of classified American documents to Israel. What? When did this happen? This is from November of 2025. According to the Times, it's unclear whether Huckabee got approval from the State Department ahead of the meeting. It said the meeting alarmed the CIA station chief in Israel, and the White House was not informed of it. The meeting was reportedly kept off of Huckabee's official schedule. The CIA declined to comment on the meeting, and White House officials told the outlet that the White House was not aware of it in advance. Pollard, 70, was an analyst for the U.S. Navy when he was arrested for sending U.S. secrets to Israel during the Cold War, causing a strain in relations between Jerusalem and Washington. He moved to Israel 5 years ago, after he was released from prison, and the restrictive conditions of his parole were lifted during the first administration of President Donald Trump. Oh, look at that. Nobody's more pro-Israel than Trump. Nobody. And he sure is very pro-Israel. Look at this. He lifted the restrictions on the spy that gave all the classified documents from the U.S. to Israel. He told the Times that this was his first meeting in a U.S. government office since then. It was a friendly meeting, Pollard told the New York Times. He said a lot of things that came up in conversation while calling Trump a madman who has literally sold us down the drain for Saudi gold, in apparent reference to the president's recent decision to sell F-35 jets to Riyadh. Oh my God, whatever. The decision was officially opposed by the Israel Defense Forces, which warned that Israel's regional air superiority would be put at risk. The U.S. Embassy said in a statement to the Times that Huckabee holds meetings with numerous people, and as a matter of general policy, we do not comment as to the content of conversations, while charging that the report was filled with inaccuracies. Daniel Kurtzer, who served as U.S. ambassador to Israel in 2001 to 2005, told the Times that the meeting just defies any kind of logic. While noting that Pollard served a harsh punishment for his actions, he added there was no reason to rehabilitate him. Pollard was arrested in '85, convicted of espionage, and sentenced to life in prison. 2 years later, despite pleading guilty in a deal his attorneys had expected would result in a more lenient sentence, he was eventually released in 2015, but was kept in the United States by parole rules and not allowed to travel to Israel. For several years, he remained a subject to a curfew, he had to wear a wrist monitor, and was prohibited from working for any company that lacked U.S. government monitoring software in its computer systems. In addition, he was restricted from traveling abroad. Pollard arrived in Israel in 2020 with his wife Esther, who passed away in 2022. He had long expressed a desire to move to Israel, which granted him citizenship in 1995 while he was still in prison. The couple was met on the tarmac by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who gave Pollard his Israel paperwork and greeted him with the traditional Jewish blessing for when something new happens. Oy vey. I just had a Wendy's honey chicken. It was tasty. I should have bought local honey when I stayed at yours, Cam. Yeah, Dr. Law just sent you a text. Loves honey. Honey habanero chicken, that sounds good. They don't like to punish people for treason because it could end up a slippery slope. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Trump first admin let him go during his parole. Trump said himself he was the first Jewish president. Right? Hey, Thunder Chicken. Thunder Chicken 333. My goodness. Also, I thought you might like to know, Melissa, that I did go ahead and purchase the 13 Sacred Nights Oracle Guidebook. Oracle cards and guidebook. I just went ahead and bought it because it explains the what it is and what you're supposed to get from it, and like things that you can do to do the 13 holy nights, you know? So it's actually pretty cool. I read it, my daughter read it, she's into it. We're gonna get our journals after this. We're gonna go get our journals that we're gonna use starting Christmas Eve or December 24th, and we'll do it the way it says to in the book. Yes, so sorry to hear what you were going through. I didn't know if, I don't even know. Hey, No Despair Bear. Gallows and guillotines. Oh, they have a GoFundMe? Okay, yeah, there you go. Thank you for sharing that link here. My goodness. GoFundMe, Justice and Legal Fund for the Martin family. You know, it's just so crazy and sad what people do to each other, especially family members or people who are supposed to be family members. Hey, Walt. So yeah, anybody who is able to, if they could help out the family. Someone sabotaged our car even to keep us from filing papers at the courthouse. What? Water in your gas tank? Oh my god. Lee. Bro. That's terrible. That's terrible. That is terrible. I can't believe it, dude. Anyway, the first night of this, apparently you're supposed to separate it into 3 decks, like the animal deck, the mineral deck, and the plant deck, or plant section. And then draw one of each card, and I already shuffled them. So I'm gonna have to unshuffle, or not really unshuffle them, but put them back in order, back into their little subsections. But Cammy, check this one out. This one, here, let's see. There we go. Come on. What is my... There we go. This is Celestite. Oh, like Cammy's logo and Cammy. At least that's what it reminded me of when I saw it. Anyway, it's very interesting. How could someone do that? Yeah, exactly. Is black seed oil or oil of oregano the best thing for an itchy throat? Oregano oil will burn your throat. Warm salt water. Get a lockable gas cap. I had to as well. Someone poured sugar in mine because of all my flat earth stuff on my car. Dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. Last year after I pulled my cards, I made sure to build a jar with all the crystals and herbs that I pulled for the year. I kept it on my desk to hold the energy. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I actually, it's funny because I was reading like what you do. So right, like it actually starts technically on the 21st, but the 21st through the 23rd is like prep, right? Let me see if I can read it. I listened to that podcast you sent me and I liked it, even though that Alex Zek guy had to bring up Tartarian buildings, and that he tells his son about Tartarian buildings gathering etheric energy. I was like, oh, sweet Jesus. You know, it never ends through the ages. Dads be telling tall stories to their boys. Silly stories. Anyway, I liked the stuff that the woman was saying. So, I thought, it's $24, so I got it. And my daughter is into it. So, what is the practice of the 13 Sacred Nights? The 13 Sacred Nights is a spiritual practice with roots in the ancient pagan ritual, serving as an invitation to honor the rhythms of nature, align with the patterns of the cosmos, celebrate the solstice season, turn inward, awaken occult powers, know the true self, consciously co-create, plant dream seeds in fertile soil of the darkness, remember one's future, walk through a doorway into the unseen world of energy and spirit. Like, all this stuff, I'm into it, man. And if that makes me a new age witch, whatever, dude, I don't care. It sounds fun. So, let's do it. Dive into the womb of winter. Witness the rebirth of the light externally and internally. Like, none of this sounds bad to me. Reconnect, receive, replenish, and reset. So the practice kicks off on the winter solstice, usually the 21st in the northern hemisphere. I'm just going by those dates. A much-needed antidote to the counterintuitive hustle and bustle of the holiday season. This winter ritual requires us to slow down, simmer down, quiet down, and listen deeply. The irony of the holidays is that while we are out shopping and busying ourselves into a frenzy, our bodies, hearts, and minds are yearning to retreat into the quiet and potent stillness of the true season. So yeah, I'm not really a fan of the whole commercialization of Christmas. So I won't read this whole thing. But so you start preparing, and I just thought it was funny because I was like, oh, I have all this stuff. December 21st, 22nd, and 23 are for preparation. During this time, you might gather supplies such as your 13 Sacred Nights Oracle deck, blah, 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 candles, objects for an altar, smudge sticks, crystals, pendulums, inspiring music, boxes of tea, materials for creative projects. Like, I have all of this stuff. So I'm like, oh, I'm totally prepared already for this. And then it says, phone numbers of people you intend to connect with, recipes, gardening tools, activewear, stimulating books, or whatever else you may need. And so the first 24-hour sacred night, it begins at sundown the 24th and carries through sundown on the 25th. And anyways, for 13 nights, you write in a journal whatever happens in your day. Your thoughts, your intentions, just things that come to you that you want to, that are positive to you, right? So anyway, I thought it looked cool to do. Make an effort to connect with people you would like to have in your life. Do the things that you want to do more of. So like if you want to do some creative stuff, do something creative in that time to sort of manifest that flow of creativity. Anyway, I just thought, it can't be bad. It can't be bad. It cannot be bad. You can use any deck you like. Yeah, you can use any deck you like. I didn't, Billingtano. That's why I have the deck. That's why I have the deck. Celtic Salt. Banana in the tailpipe. I can't believe what people do. We'll do the warm salt water, Liz. Yes, there you go, do that. I don't poo-poo on the witchcraft shit, so why you poo-poo on Tartaria? Well, because it's ridiculous. To call everything Tartaria is wrong. It's just wrong. I mean, they act like Tartaria is not being hidden from us. It's on a bunch of maps. Like, I saw Tartaria. I've seen Tartaria around as long as I've been looking at maps. And why all of a sudden everybody decided to call everything Tartarian is like, I just don't get it. It just doesn't make sense. You know, none of it makes any sense. And also, Wood and Nichols and Ewar debunked all that stuff. And this isn't witchcraft, by the way. It isn't witchcraft. It's just because you're not casting a spell on anybody. You know, you're not trying to unsolicited influence over another human's free will or anything like that. This isn't about talking to dead people. It is not about predicting a future. It's about trying to influence your own future by putting the intent out into the ether during a time when the veil between, you know, the spirit world and the physical world is supposed to be thinner. You know, that dark time, all the flora is dormant, everything is cold, the sun has gone away to the outer circle, that sort of thing. Tartaria is just a bunch of people looking at old pictures and making up stories about it that aren't true. And then trying to say that, oh, there's these buildings gather etheric energy. They have no proof of that. They have no evidence of that. Like, why do they even... They're just making stuff up. I mean, if you go to these old buildings, like, I've been to Europe and I've been inside these old cathedrals in France, and old cathedrals, which aren't called cathedrals, they're called duomos in Italy. They're like many, many hundreds of years old. They are constantly being taken care of. They're constantly being maintained so that they can stay in shape, and people, and they can, you know, can go and visit these places. Like, they'll have, like, certain places will have like metal bracing. You'll see that they've added metal bracing in there to keep these things, you know, up and alive. Like, these things are not the mystical, magical wonderment of construction that I think people think that they are. You know, the little stairs, they go, or people that say that, oh, they have big doors, it was meant for big people. But then when you go to these places, all of the stairways, like in the back inner workings of the cathedral, they're all really small for regular sized people. There's just like normal steps and normal sized stairways that go in the back. Like, no big person could ever get into any of these places because it's just physically impossible. Anyway, I don't, you know, if you're into it though, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, if it makes no sense, why wouldn't it be wrong? I've been getting the chariot a lot recently. I pulled the moon. Nice. I'm convinced that there was an old world. The buildings are everywhere. Well, yes, because humans have been building stuff for thousands of years. And so, yes, by our sense of time, that would be old. So there is old world stuff that has lasted through time. Some of it ruins. Some of it needs to be fixed and restored every now and then. Okay, there's old world stuff, but it doesn't mean it's all Tartaria and all Tartarian and like from this one world rulership of Tartaria that had magic buildings that drew power from the ether with their antiquitech. Okay, all of that is complete nonsense. Reading cards is not a harmless endeavor to the soul. Okay, so then don't do it, if that's what you believe. Frequency flowers in the churches. Okay. See, now there's something to that, and like having the organs in the churches, and maybe the sounds from the organ being like, you know, healing to people in the church, and that whole thing about people of like minds gathering in a space, especially a space as beautiful as those churches are, because they're beautiful. I mean, the human field, right? The Taurus field, when you get in with a whole bunch of other people, it's like when we have our meetups or we have our conferences and everybody's there and everybody's all excited and everybody's there with the same intent. And then that whole energy sort of gets together and grows and it makes everybody feel good. So why wouldn't the same thing happen for people in church who go to these beautiful churches and then they have an organ or whoever, they're singing these songs that make these beautiful sounds that make everybody feel good, and like why wouldn't that, like, I get it, that's a thing, but I don't think there's like some magic ether energy, you know what I'm saying, like some weird unknown antiquitech that's coming through the churches. I think the church and the humans and the intent and the actions is the antiquitech. Like, that makes more sense to me, that would be healing than some mystical, magical thing that you don't know about. That's all I'm saying. I love melted butter. Throwing down some brick in my day. I didn't say there's power in reading cards. It's just something to do that's fun, to sort of set intentions for yourself. You don't have to do it if you don't want to do it. It's not required. Okay? It's okay. It's not required. I just thought it would be a fun thing to do. And Melissa is the one who turned me on to it, so it's all good. Cymatics of the church organs. Yeah. Why not? Cymatics has been known about for centuries, and the churches used to be built with that in mind. They weren't giant power plants, though. Yeah, I don't think they're power plants. I think it's just humans, you know, mimicking creation and building things that sort of amplify things that naturally happen. Natural physics. Why not? I can get down with that. The issue is that there wasn't a population big enough to explain all those amazing intricate stone, marble, and brick structures and buildings. And even bigger issue is the lack of technology. What do you mean lack of technology? What technology do they need to cut brick and stone? You just have to, like, literally with a chisel and a hammer. It's the same thing as like a pneumatic hammer. When people have a pneumatic, like a jack, you know, that's basically pounding the rock into the shape that you want it to be. So it would take longer and more people, but think about it though. These were all built at a time where there was no internet, there was no TV, there was no radio. It was just a bunch of humans walking around. You know, when the sun went down, everything got dark and you had to do shit by candlelight. There was no electricity. You know, so what were they doing for these hundreds of years or all this time? You know, there's a whole bunch of them. They were building cool stone buildings. And there are ways that they do it. Actually, when I went to the Parthenon in Tennessee, in Nashville, they had a recreation of an ancient crane that they built from wood and rope to hoist these big stones up onto these buildings to build these buildings. I mean, these buildings were not like skyscrapers, you know. So I don't think it is beyond the realm of possibility for humans to have built these things. And they did. Actually, there's, you know, they deforested France building cathedrals because they cut down all the wood to for building roofs and for building scaffolding to build the cathedrals. So listen, I'm not poo-pooing on people who like Tartaria, dude. I used to be mean and say mean things about people who were into Tartaria. I don't do that anymore. You believe whatever you want. I think that it's silly. That's just my opinion. Don't listen to me, okay? Hi, William. Good to see you. Even the scriptures talks about a time when the world was united and could achieve anything they wanted, like a worldwide advanced civilization. Well, I don't know what they mean by worldwide, as far as in scripture. I don't think they're talking about everybody over the entire plane. I want to see you chisel a 6-ton block like the ones used to build the pyramids. I don't, but I actually save videos like that on Instagram all the time. All the time. There's like quarry, people splitting rocks for quarry. Watch. Splitting a massive stone with wedges. Oh, that one doesn't show the whole process. But there's some of them that do. Here's one. Let's see. Look at this. See, I don't have my sound set up correctly. There we go. But see, they're literally just chiseling it because it's a certain type of stone and they know where the stone has a natural cleaving point or where they can break it. And so they're able to just break it by, like, just like this, down into blocks. Let me speed this up. So it just depends on what type of stone it is, and just by knowing what type of stone it is and where the natural points, the natural bonds are that can be easily broken, just by banging on it, because there's you know, if like in a different direction, it wouldn't break. If you hit it hard enough, it might just crumble because it's not a cleave point, you know? So it's like, I don't understand. This isn't, see, just a hammer and then nails, and then they're splitting it. How to move boulders without heavy equipment. You guys need to look at a guy, his name's Wally Wallington. He's this old dude who like moved big stones around, like big like Stonehenge size stones around just by himself using like pieces of wood and physics and levers and stuff. So, you know, yeah, I just don't see why not to believe. Open the phone. I have heard you poo-poo on it many times. Yeah, but you know, I don't like dwell on it. I don't, you know, I'm not trying to just like, you know, but whatever. People love that crap. I just don't. I just don't. I'm sorry. I think it is fantasy. It's fantasy is what it is. Anyway. Counterweights, levers, cantilevers, pulleys, yeah. Take the best stone cutter today and try to make him create two identical statues or intricate exterior patterns. How many statues wrong before two identical with this hammer and chisel? Have you heard of something called a caliper? Do you know what calipers are? Because what these sculptors use, like what they've been using for a long time, is this tool called calipers. Basically, well, this is like a modern version of a caliper, but old calipers look like this, right? So these, like, this would be more like what they would use, something like this that was long and it had an adjustable joint. And so if they were building two of something, you could measure 3D, stuff like statues and stuff with the calipers and make them identical. And if you're spending, careful time on it, you can make two identical statues using a pair of calipers and measuring the statues as you do it. So, that's how they would do it. What do you think about water having memory and that lady putting a picture under the water and freezing it in the ice has the same image? I think that's pretty cool. I think that is cool. Water is one of the only two substances on Earth that is considered a liquid crystal. If Ben were here, Ben's theory is that it's actually the minerals or the salts that are dissolved in the water that are carrying and holding the memory rather than just water itself. So I don't know if she's tried to do that with distilled water, which is just pure water with absolutely no minerals in it whatsoever. But so it could have something to do with like, because she does like really cool with spring water and stuff, which has a mineral content in it, right? Which is like living water, I would say. So yeah, that is really cool. I absolutely think that's fascinating. I've worked in these trades for a few decades. The only actual mysteries from the past I've seen are megalithic polygonal constructions and the pre-dynastic stone vases of Egypt. Right? Very rare few things are actually kind of mind-blowing. Hey, Leland Witt. So your card fantasy is better than my tar fantasy? I guess so. Water. And gauges that you can estimate pretty darn accurately to 1,000th of a millimeter. These are manual gauges, no wires or batteries. Yeah. There are crystals in your tears. I've seen them. Yeah, that's salt. That would be salt. I do think that, there's definitely what could be considered to be magical properties about these buildings, those old buildings and stuff, but I don't really see any real evidence of like what would be referred to as actual antiquitech, like what the whole craze was basically based on or theorized. I was never into it. I'm sorry. Just not. But yeah, you guys should look up giant rock quarries, marble quarries. They split these giant pieces of stone all the time with what could be considered semi-primitive style tools. It's like basically the only thing that's changed is like steam power really revolutionized this stuff, and then pneumatic power and hydraulics. But even hydraulics have been being used for thousands of years. So it's actually not that impossible for humans to be doing this stuff, you guys. It's really not. So, yeah. Okay, what did I miss? At the dentist right now, they are checking my toothache out. Anyone had experience with urine therapy for toothaches? No. When I had a bad toothache or when I have teeth problems, I bust out the DMSO. I do not put urine pee-pee in my mouth. I've done the topical urine pee-pee thing, but I don't put it in my mouth. Please don't pee in your mouth. Says Scrotal Xerox. Steam engines are an old world free energy tech and engine that runs on water. Well, it uses water, but you also have to have a fuel to heat up the water to turn it into steam. So that's why they have coal, like coal bins on trains. Or wood, but I think probably coal was more efficient at burning, getting it up to temperature so you can get that steam. Toothaches, clove oil. Yes, I actually make myself I have a little toothache concoction that I made where I took cloves and DMSO and like whole cloves and crushed them up and soaked them in DMSO. Anyway, it's a recipe that's in Amanda Vollmer's book, the DMSO book. She's got a bunch of recipes in there. I actually still use that to this day. That came out during the pandemic, and I bought the book. Well, yeah, she sent me the book. She signed it and everything before she, got mad at me for trying to correct people during the hurricane. But anyway, I still like her DMSO stuff. She's, whatever. Yeah, she has great recipes in there. I made the eye drops again recently because he was like, I need more DMSO eye drops. So I made him some eye drops. No root canals. Yeah, exactly. Clove oil and oregano oil. RSO is also amazing for tooth pain. Bee propolis can be used as sort of a cap to keep a cavity covered while the tooth heals. Really? I might need to do that. One of my teeth is supposed to need a root canal, but I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Everybody thinks technology means computer chips. The trebuchet was tech back in the day. Exactly. Or that it all has to be like electronically powered somehow. Or electrically powered. But it doesn't. It doesn't. I have RSO. Do I just put some on it? I don't know. Hello, Josh Mudge. I mean, for your toothache, you could probably just put it directly on your tooth and let it dissolve there. Oregano oil is antibiotic, yeah, and cleans the area. Clove oil helps with the pain. A root canal means they have to fill it with an amalgam of metals and mercury, which you don't want inside of you. Just reincarnate into a fresh body. Anyway, I do not begrudge people who are into Tartaria. Look at Watson loves Tartaria. Watson Atkinson. I still love Watson. He can come to my house and hang out with me and have a cookout at any time. And he loves Tartaria. Effie peeps are getting crazy, right? Yeah, so DMSO, you could just do 50-50. I have a general solution of DMSO that I keep in a spray bottle. It's 50% distilled water and 50% DMSO mixed together. Because when you take pure DMSO and you mix it with anything, there's a reaction? Thermogenic reaction? Is that what it's called? Anyway, it gets hot. Whenever you mix DMSO with another substance, it gets hot, which is why if you put like pure DMSO on your skin, it can cause blisters. It's because it's like causing a thermal reaction with the water that's in your skin. Like you'll heal and everything, you'll be fine, but Yeah, I don't do that. I don't do pure DMSO for that reason. Now, the stronger the mixture of DMSO is, the more that stingy feeling you'll get when you put the DMSO on. So like 50-50 DMSO, you probably don't want to put that in your eye. And then so for the solution, it's like more like a 20% DMSO, and then you mix it with the saline solution. So first I make the saline solution, and then I add the DMSO, and then those are the eye drops. But her book has all the ratios and the recipe and all that stuff. So the clove one, you take like 20 whole cloves, and you crush them, and you put them inside the bottle, and then you put like 30 ml or whatever of pure DMSO in there with the cloves, and you got to let them stew around in there for a few days, shake it up, right? And then you take it out, filter it, and put the DMSO that's now been saturated. It's like a tincture. It's like a DMSO clove tincture is basically what you're making. And then you put that in the dropper bottle, and you can put that on your tooth. It's the best. It's the best. Hey, Ted's here. Speaking of, bring some DMSO for me on Saturday. What do you need exactly? What is it for again? I can make you some stuff. Oh, some clove. If I start it today, I could probably have it done by the weekend. Commercial sound and video was water expands 1,000% at 240 degrees Fahrenheit and 130 psi. Exothermic. Thank you. Thank you, Squirtle Xerox. That's the word. I have a bunch of Watson's art hanging up on my pad. I got some Watson's art hanging up too. MLB? Who's MLB? Oh God, my lunch break. No, please don't leak my lunch break from in here. I hate that guy's guts so much. He is a retard. A retard! I'm sorry. That's the only mean thing I'll say. Yes, I have Watson tattoos. My hands are Watson tattoos. These are Watson tattoos. It says flat earth. It says flat earth. And then on the inside it says electric and magnetic. You love my... I call him my clickbait. That guy makes up so much crap. All of those guys make up crap. That guy is the worst with his voice and his, what's this all about? Look at this picture. Isn't this fishy? And then, like, if you really look into it, it's so easy to debunk. Yes, 1111. 1111. I mean, you guys have to... See, the reason why I never caught on with all that stuff is because when those videos started coming out, I would, just like I did when I saw Flat Earth videos, I would go and I would look into stuff on my own to see if there was any real validity to these claims. And guess what? There wasn't. Most of it is total crap. So, yeah. I'm sorry, you guys, that I'm just not into that stuff. And The back of the hands wasn't bad. You know what was bad was the finger. Just the finger. The finger. That was probably the worst. What do you mean, Dr. Law? You were just here for 11/11. I'm sorry, you guys, that I'm not looking to things. So yeah, what? I'm sorry, And then I went to the Parthenon in Nashville. I took my daughter there because my daughter loves ancient Greece. So when I found out there's a Parthenon in Nashville with a 42-foot statue of Athena, I was like, well, of course, I have to take my daughter to go see this, right? So we went and we had a great time. She had a great time. And I made a little video about it since I figured while I was going, why not? I brought the drone, you know, I took video, took a lot of pictures, and made this short little video about our visit to the Parthenon in Nashville. And everybody was like, oh, you know, people are commenting on my video. These people who built these buildings, they knew so much more about everything, and oh, ancient tech, blah, blah, blah. People are like just making silly comments under there. And I was like, bro, if you go there, it's not even the same material as what the original Parthenon was built from. There's no marble. It's like all just like this mixed like concrete, like it's a polymer, I guess is what you would call it. And you can see the pebbles and like the type of concrete that they made it out of. You know, it's not, it's not at all. It's like an exact size replica, but it is not of the same material. And the Athena is not the same material as the original Athena, right? This is, I mean, it's cool. It's cool and everything. I thought it was cool, but it's just not like, when you're there, it just doesn't scream old world to me. Like it's not old world. It's a modern copy of a building that was designed in the old world and then was destroyed in time because of whatever, wars, earthquakes, you know, whatever, time, weather. It just, you know, now it's ruins, but it's just a replica. And I just don't understand why people would think that that building has like somehow magically been here for hundreds of years. It just doesn't even look, when you're there, it just doesn't even look like an old construction. It's not. Anyway, whatever. Jesus Zeus. MLB's new video proves he was right about everything. Oh my god. I find that funny. Don't you think if I play his video I'd get a copyright anyway? I think it's funny that you think his new video proves he was right about everything. That's hilarious. I investigated myself and I found evidence that I was actually right about everything. Oh my god, you guys are funny. You're funny. It's all good though. It's not poo-poo, y'all, just crap. Did I have a whole debunk video that I never even released of that Old World Order movie by Hibbler, which is like basically starring the My Lunch Break dude and some guy that builds yurts who doesn't understand about stones and different types of stone and stone quarries. I mean, It's like that, like I was talking about last week with Static in the Attic, that whatever it is, it takes a small amount of energy to produce a big ton of bullshit crap, and it takes a whole bunch of energy to debunk the crap. It just takes so much energy to debunk that stupid crap. It's like, I just, can't be bothered. So it persists. And then when I do take the time to debunk the stupid crap, like with the jet fuel hoax that Ted and I took the time to make the video to debunk the jet fuel hoax, everybody goes, oh, why are you wasting your time debunking this stupid crap? It's like, well, obviously that's not for you. You know, that video was not for you. And then when you post it, people they just say, you didn't debunk anything. And they don't explain how or why or what specific point, you know, that proves that you didn't debunk anything. They just go, ha, well, you think you debunked this, but you didn't. No. So, you know, it's just, why even bother? I got to the point where I was just like, why even freaking bother? If you want to believe stupid shit, just go ahead and believe your stupid shit, dude. It's cool. It's totally cool. Nobody, you know, everybody loves stupid shit. YouTube algorithms love to push the stupid shit. That is the mystical, magical, mystery civilization that is being hidden from the truth. Hidden is the truth, hidden by lies. Yet there it is at the top of every, you know, YouTube suggestion list if you type in old anything. Like, whatever, dude. Whatever. Why should I even waste my time? That's like, the term casting pearls to swine. Not that you guys are swine that watch that stuff, but it's like, clearly you just don't care. You believe your Tartarian fantasy stories, and you like them. Fine. Have fun with your fantasy Tartarian stories. Just leave me alone. I'm not into it, okay? I'm not into the fantasy Tartarian stories. If you guys really think it's the truth, you should go talk to some historians and ask them why this stuff is being hidden. You know, why didn't they figure this stuff out when they were looking at old history stuff? You know, go talk to them about it. See what they say. Because I have no interest. That's all I gotta say about that. I believe in Santa. MLB's content is not stupid shit. Okay. That's like your opinion, man. Lunchbox effed up your views on Tartaria. No, I was out of it before I even knew who that clown was. You guys. I was never, ever, you can go back and look at my entire history of being online, all the shows I did with Brian Stavely on Unveiling This Realm. I was never, ever into Tartaria, Mudflood, Meltology, any of this, you know, look, I'm not saying the official story about history is right, but you guys they're literally just making shit up. All these people on YouTube, like, none of it checks out. None of it checks out. You know, there's some alternative history stuff that is interesting. I was telling you, I like a little bit of some of the Static in the Attic stuff, but even some of the stuff he says, I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. But listen, it's whatever you like to consume, okay? Me, I get turned off by a lot of that stuff because it's just, you know, it's just not, especially people who claim to be revealing truths or discovering something, some unknown information that was hidden through the darkness of time, and I, my lunch break, have discovered it, and I have made a convenient 30-minute video for you to watch on your lunch break, so that you may too be informed about the unknown history which I have uncovered that is Tartaria and the magic kingdom of Tartaria and the magic etheric energy that is pulled from the buildings of these magic Tartarian buildings, the Tartarian empire that once ruled the world. Yes, okay, look, if you're into it, fine. I think it's silly. I think it's really fucking silly. One thing you said about big buildings and their big doors in Europe have actually all cathedrals, all the world is right, and I never thought of this. These doors weren't so huge. What? Big buildings, we have a hard time to find the entrance, right? Big buildings need big doors. Otherwise, you're like, how do I get in? I mean, look at when you go to a normal skyscraper in any major city, like major skyscrapers, if they don't have like a big, fancy, like, entrance way. If you look at it from the wrong angle, you're like, how do I get into this fucking thing? Where's the entrance? You know, you need a grand entrance for a grand building. This voice needs to be done more. I just wanted you to say you shit on Tartaria. Tartarian findings. I just don't, well, it just, the whole premise of it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Like, I even follow this, if you look into the material that these people reference, and you follow the thread, it falls apart. The Tartarian story just falls apart. Like, I follow this, account on X that shares Tartaria, like old books that mention Tartaria. And he's totally misrepresents what they actually say. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hi, Karen B. It's Tony Coriolis.
What's up, Tony?
Just chilling at work. Currently, I'm going to like a lot of weeds at my park, and like, okay, we had the massive rains out here in Arizona for kind of like all of October, and then with that, now normally there's big swaths of like nothing in Arizona because kind of you got to have sprinklers set up to have grass growing or anything. But like the rains that came through, just this one weed is popping up more than all the others. It's a mulva, and I've never really noticed what weeds pop up. I guess I just specifically am this year because I'm having to clear a lot of it. But I looked it up, like if there's any uses to it, and I guess there are, but in the park, I don't think I'd use any of that. Mulva, M-A-L-V-A. It said it was like another name is something mallow.
Oh, like marshmallow?
When I looked it up.
Marshmallow?
Yeah, there's like a natural, like a marshmallow thing. I've seen a bunch of videos. People show, oh, I made this marshmallow stuff and it's so good for you. I think it's like that, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's just what I'm doing at work. But in regard to the whole old world stuff that people talk about, I kind of sort of sit similar to your thought on it. Like I really want something clear cut of, oh, well, for sure, there'd be some mystery to that. And I just know I saw one where like they made a whole temple out of one, like in the side of a mountain. Like they literally just did it. Like they had to plan out every single cut on the mountain. Have you seen that ever?
Yeah, Petra. You're talking about Petra.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And if we're talking about like, I don't know, what societies did before us, I find that interesting. But I do hate when they talk about the horse and buggy thing. And how do they do that with a horse and buggy?
Yeah.
In Italy, I don't think I've mentioned to you before, but out near like the Amalfi Coast, like they're only allowed to build some of those houses with like a donkey. And that's not even a horse and buggy. That's like a donkey and a buggy. You know?
Yeah. That's funny. I didn't know
about that. And I just know
that
is like a law or something out there. Like you're not allowed to build any way other than with a donkey, like taking stuff up a hill. And yeah, it's time intensive. It's just what it is.
That's funny.
Yeah, I know.
Do they do that because
Um,
they don't want people building super big houses? So like, if you can't build it with a donkey, you can't build it.
Sort of, but even the houses there are kind of, they're big, extravagant looking houses, but still, they had to be built with a donkey. And like, there's even, I just know for sure there was like, we saw some symbol of like, oh, well, they got the donkey and the shirt because that's how everything's built out here. It was like near Sorrento, Amalfi Coast
Is
type
it?
area. I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
Is that where it's like kind of a lot of hillsides there, right up to the
Yes,
coast?
totally.
Oh, well, maybe they can't get anything else but a donkey up there.
I agree. There has to be some sort of a reason to it.
Yeah, interesting.
And then I was watching a movie this past weekend, sort of changing the subject, but I do like your take on all this stuff. And really, if anyone is opposed to Karen's take, I mean, you're able to call in and voice something if it's just natural. Don't go dumb about it, but just if you got anything that's kind of, oh, well, what about this? Like, I think you're open to it. You literally run a show with a call-in number. Like anyone could call in and
I have looked at
voice
buildings
if
that,
they think any different.
yeah, and I have looked into certain buildings that, see, because I can't just, people, I don't like the whole general thing where people just generalize and go, oh, what about all these old buildings, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, which old building and where? And what is the story
Yeah.
behind it, right? Because humans do have a long history on this plane that is documented. Like it only goes back so far, but there is thousands of years of human history and human, activity on the plane. So it's like, where, when,
No,
what's
I'm
the
with you.
story,
And really, if you boil down the pockets of survival debate that you did, I don't think anyone's seen that more than me. I've rewatched that a bunch of times. But that's kind of boiling it down to what it was. You can't come at it with kind of nonsensey kind of stuff and just assume a lot of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then, yeah, one last thing. I'm still at work. I got a bunch of weeds. I am making great progress on it, though. You ever seen the movie Dante's Peak?
No.
It's got Pierce Brosnan in it, and the lady that's the mom in Terminator, the one who's all, I forgot her name, but it's a good movie,
Oh,
Dante's Peak.
Linda Hamilton.
I think that might be it. The lady who like is all into like protecting her son and everyone thinks she's crazy in
Yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah, that's Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, it's Pierce Brosnan and her, and it's a really good movie. And they even have some good scenes in it where like, oh dang, this is like more intense than I thought it would be. Like he's got to drive through like lava in his car, and like I couldn't help but think if that was an electronic car, like it would have so not made it. That like I get it is a movie, but like the fact that they're kind of using older cars and like literally the wheels burn off and yet still the truck pushes through. If it was an electronic car, you'd die. Like it'd be the quickest movie ever. Yeah, so that was one thing in the movie. But then there's another part in the movie where like they're the geological surveyors that go out because there's Dante's Peak is gonna blow and blah blah blah. So then NASA ends up hooking them up with some like tracking thing that I find it so ridiculous. So it's like a NASA built thing, and then like at the end of the movie, it ends up being how they find them in a cave. Okay, so they're in a cave, and he triggers the NASA thing, and then they end up finding him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what kind of signal is that? What kind of signal has NASA then invented that would like go through a mountain? And just at the end of the movie, they do such a praise of like, oh, thank God NASA, like, thank God NASA made this thing for us. Like, it's such nonsense. So Dante's Peak, it has just one hell of a propaganda little piece at the end with NASA,
Mm-hmm.
but the movie overall was good too.
All right, interesting. I'll have to take a look for that on our next movie night.
For sure. Well, all right, I'm gonna get back to the weeds, Karen. Thank you for taking my call. Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas, Tony.
All right, peace out.
Later. Speaking of movie night, last night for movie night, Ted and I. First of all, we were like, do we watch that new Hibbler movie? Because we were going to see how awful it was, the Climate Trails movie. But you have to rent it or buy it. $4.99 to rent it, or $12.99 to buy it. And I was like, ugh, Ted. But Ted said he'd pay for it, but we didn't watch it last night. Last night, because it showed up, it said people also watched Toxic Skies, which is that movie that Anne Heche was in, and it's back from 2008. Do you guys know about this movie? It's freaking hilarious. Let me pull it up. So we pulled this movie up to watch it. Okay, so it's Anne Heche, set in 2008. Fear is in the air. Okay, look at the biohazard. And the whole premise of this movie is that the government is spraying chemtrails, and it's spreading a virus around that's making people sick. Now get this. Here's the fucking hilarious part where we didn't even finish watching this movie because it is so bad. It is so retardedly bad. So retardedly bad. You know, people try to make it sound like when Anne Heche died, and there was some weird fuckery going on about how she died, but it wasn't because of this stupid piece of crap movie. This movie is so horrifically retarded and lame. There's no way that there's no way this is in any way responsible. I just have to put that out there. Stop that stupid rumor right now. But Anne Heche in this movie, okay, she's a doctor, and they call her in because there's this group of people who are getting sick. Like there's a epidemic, right? And so they're bringing her in to like figure out what the epidemic is, and like, is it the plague? Is it this? Is it that? Right? And so they're doing tests on, at first, you know, they're all in the ET suits, like the hazmat suit, which is what, if people were really freaked out about an airborne illness, that's what they should have been wearing for COVID, right? That instead of standing 6 feet apart, everybody should have been wearing hazmat suits, right? So in the beginning, they're like wearing the hazmat suits to go in and like talk to patients and ask them who they were in contact with and have they left the country and and all this stupid stuff, right? And then, so like a little bit time goes on in the movie and they're like, oh, this isn't airborne. The sickness isn't airborne. So now all of a sudden they can go in and they can talk to people who are infected with this virus and not have to worry about it, being in sort of any proximity to these people who are sick, right? But it came from chemtrails, which is from the sky, which means it would have had to have been airborne. So like, I don't even know how they reconcile that, or even if they try to reconcile that at any point in the movie, because we paused it for a bathroom break, for a dab break, and we never went back to the movie because it was just so awful, just so cheesy and awful. And like, you know, she's getting sent some mysterious envelope and there's like this cheesy laser printout of conspiracy theories of chemtrails and planes. Dude, just one of the cheesiest, most awful movies I'd ever attempted to watch in a very long time. Resident Alien. My favorite is the X Factor event. Oh my god. You're so offended, I am Lone Frog. I'm sorry I offended you about Tartaria. No more Farmer's Almanac. That's what my mom said! Farmer's Almanac is being retired. I was like, what? Why? Dante's Peak is a good movie, says Liz. Sarah Connor. Stranger Things now. Awesome movie? What's an awesome movie? Terminator. Are you guys saying Dante's Peak is an awesome movie? Make shit up, fill plot holes, and NASA's inventing new shit as an easy out. Loved it for the big Dodge trucks alone. Resident Alien. Her death was bizarre and disturbing. Yeah, but it wasn't because of this movie, because this movie sucked. There were no major truths revealed in this movie other than Hollywood's horrible writing. Hollywood's complete lack of ability to make up anything good. The X Factor wasn't an event, it was Jen's favorite TV show and singing competition. Toxic rain landed on their skin. Chinese spy balloons. The double standard? What is the double standard? What double standard did I apply to it? I didn't apply any double standard to Tartaria. It's all made up shit. People, there's no evidence of it. Once you start looking into it, into the stuff that they reference, it falls apart completely. Like, before Tony called in, I was talking about that account that's on X that I followed, and I was even calling some of their stuff out, and they're like, oh, go look on my this tab or whatever where I have all of my references. So I'd go click on them and I'd go start, it's all here. This is talking about Tartaria in America. And what it was is somebody who went to Tartaria when it was still a thing, and they came back and they said it was as if America had a Tartary. And, you know, saying that Tartaria was like, oh, they had buildings, they had roads, they had, you know, infrastructure, the same way that I see, the same kind of thing that I see in America, because Tartaria was never an official country. That's why it ended up disappearing. It never had any real borders. It never was an official country with like actual definitive borders, right? If you don't have a border and you don't have a language and you don't have, you know, like countries have to establish themselves, you get lost. And that's what happened to real Tartaria. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Karen. So when was it that you and your daughter went to Nashville to see those replica buildings?
It was end of August. Yeah, this year.
Okay, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you guys founded those buildings in 2025. Oh my God, I can't tell you how much I hate that.
Yeah.
That's a huge pet peeve of mine. I was, a couple of weeks ago, I was watching some video about the Little Caesars theory. And they're making some really interesting, fascinating points. And then all of a sudden, this guy busts out with that crap about how these buildings were founded. And it's like, ooh, gotcha. They were founded.
I know. It's like, that's not what founded means.
No, there are two very different, distinct verbs.
Right.
To find and to found.
Yeah.
And when something is founded, it means an organization has been started.
Yeah, or you're establishing something. You're establishing it. You're starting it.
Right. Yes. Yep. So, oh my God. Unless you're a toddler, then, like, imagine a toddler walking down the street and he says, "Oh, I founded a penny."
Mm-hmm.
These people sound like toddlers. Oh, it drives me nuts. Anyway, I thought I'd tell you an amusing little story that for some reason just popped in my head this morning. Back in around 22 or 23, when we were just coming out of the Stephen King novel that we all lived through with COVID,
Mm-hmm.
I was walking down the street with my dogs, and I was passing this building, really cool old building, and these two girls had just walked out of the building, and my dogs are like female magnets. They were just fawning over the dogs about how cute they are, and started talking to me, and it turns out that they were both 18-year-old girls from out of state that were here on their Mormon mission. Apparently sometimes females do that too, I guess. Anyway, we were standing there chatting, and it's a beautiful day, and I don't know how many Mormons you've met in your life, but they're always super nice people.
Yes.
So, of course, they start talking to me about their religion and that kind of shit. But they opened it up by asking me if I had any kind of religious background. So I explained to them that I was raised Catholic, but I explained to them a little bit about how I actually kind of became a Christian for myself. And when I came back to the U.S., I thought, well, Catholicism's one I know, so maybe I'll just to get my feet wet with Christianity again, I'll go with what I know and go to a Catholic church for a while. But I immediately realized, wow, the Vatican is completely taken over by Satan now. And I mean that literally.
That place is creepy.
They're so open about it now. It's insane. So when I said the Vatican's just completely taken over by Satan, both of them at the exact same time in perfect unison, they went, "Oh." These two little girls. It sounded like I just told them that one of my dogs ran away from home. The Vatican's completely taken over by Satan. Oh. Oh my God! I thought I was gonna die.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was pretty great. All right, that's all I got.
All right, thanks for calling.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Hilarious. Hey, Bill Wheel. Truth in the movies and lies in the mainstream news. Yeah, well, sometimes the movies just have stupid bullshit in them, like Toxic Skies. Michael Hoffman writes books about that, and he's the best writer. He's Catholic, but hates what happened to their religion and does the best job exposing it. Yes, I like Michael Hoffman. That's correct, Rose. Michael Hoffman is a good person to follow. He's on Twitter. He's also on Substack. He writes articles on Substack. So tell me how crystals heal again. Well, what do you want to know about crystals healing? You're so upset about the Tartaria thing. You're just so upset that you want to make me upset about something. You know, I get it. I'm sorry. I'm not into the Tartaria thing. I'm just not. Sorry. I mean, even that document that Ray mentioned, oh, what about the document that says they're gonna They're going to hide Tartaria history. Yeah, I went and I found that actual document. It was part of the debunk I did for that stupid movie. Let me see if I can, I think I still have my folder with all my stuff in it. Yeah, here we go. National Cultural Development under Communism, June of 1957. If you actually read the document in context, National Cultural Development under Communism, Muslims of Russia, Tartars of the Volga and the Crimea, Kyrgyz of Sarts and of Siberia and Turkestan, Turks and Tartars of Transcaucasia, Chechens and mountain peoples of the Caucasus, and all whose mosques and prayer houses have been destroyed, whose beliefs and customs have been trampled upon by the czars and the oppressors of Russia. Henceforth, your beliefs and customs, our national and cultural institutions are forever free and inviolate. Organize your national life in complete freedom. This is your right. Thus read in part a proclamation issued on the 7th of December 1917 by the Bolsheviks over the signatures of Lenin and Stalin, addressed to all Muslim toilers of Russia and the East. The Bolsheviks had realized that if their revolution was to be a complete success and if they were to be able to consolidate their newly won power, the support of Russia's minority peoples, including the Muslims, was essential. Hence this proclamation. Other pronouncements designed for the same purpose were also issued. For example, a previous declaration also signed by Lenin, Stalin, issued on the 15th of November 1917, had stated, the Council of People's Commissars had decided to base its activities with regard to the nationalities of Russia on the following principles. 1. Equality and sovereignty of the nations of Russia. 2. The right of nations to free self-determination, including the right to secede from independent states. Abolition of all national and national religious privileges and restrictions whatsoever. Freedom of development for the national minorities and ethnographic groups inhabiting the territory of Russia. The Muslim peoples of Russia had at the time no way of knowing how little Bolshevik, i.e. communist promise meant. The two declarations, so this is talking about how the Bolsheviks made these promises to the people of Russia, including, and some of them were Tartars, because that is where Tartaria was. It is the area between like East Russia and like West China, like Russia and China in between there. That's where Tartaria was, okay? That's what was considered Tartaria. So this is talking about how the Bolsheviks at the time were making promises to these groups of people. Some of them were Tartars, because there were still Tartars back in that time. The two declarations, therefore, at first kindled great hopes among them. Colonial subjects of the Tsar, whose lands had been forcibly incorporated into and held as part of the Russian Empire, they fervently desired national independence, and these proclamations seemed to open invitation to them to declare their freedom from the Russian rule and to create their own national states. The Tsarist regime therefore appeared as the chief enemy of the Muslims as of the Bolsheviks, so the former were easily persuaded to cooperate with the latter. Disillusionment was rapid. Muslim leaders were at first feasted and feted by the Bolsheviks, but as the power of the latter grew, they soon showed that their promises had been only a tactical maneuver. The newly established independent Muslim governments were ruthlessly suppressed by the Red Army, and Russian rule reimposed as the Bolsheviks forgot their promises to recognize the right of self-determination. The history of the communists during the 40 years they have been in power in the Soviet Union shows that self-determination has not been the only subject on which they have betrayed both their promises and their alleged doctrine. Throughout their years of power, and especially since World War II, in their propaganda to the peoples of Asia and Africa, the communists have boasted of their success in solving the nationalities problem by building a multinational state in which every nationality is equal and has full opportunity for a free national cultural development. A brief examination of the record, however, shows that the permitted opportunity for national cultural development is severely limited where it exists at all, and is, in any case without exception, so controlled and warped as to serve not the needs and aspirations of the various peoples, but only the interests of the Communist Party and the Great Russian Chauvinism. Let us, for example, consider the position of Islam in the Muslim regions of Russia and in Muslim lands everywhere. At the time, Islam was the hearthstone around which the life of its devotees revolved, or rather, did revolve, until the communists violated their promises and made it impossible for Muslims to perform their religious duties. As we have seen, the November 17 proclamation promised Muslims that they would be free to continue in the practice of their faith. Even some years before the revolution, in an article entitled "To the Rural Poor," Lenin had written, "Everyone must be perfectly free, not only to belong to whatever religion he pleases, but he must be free to disseminate his religion and to change his religion. No official should be entitled to ask anyone about his religion. It is a matter for that person's conscience, and no one has any business to interfere." A decree on the separation of church from state issued the 5th of February 1918 declared in Article 3 that every citizen may profess any religion or none. In Article 5 that free practice of religious rights is guaranteed, and in Article 9 that citizens may teach and study religion privately. Once the communists had consolidated their power, however, they began to reveal their true nature, to violate their earlier promises, and to take repressive acts. Lands belonging to the mosques were confiscated by a decree in 1918. Muslim religious brotherhoods were outlawed during the period of 1921 to 22, and a campaign was launched to ridicule Islam and to undermine the influence of the spiritual leaders of the Muslim peoples. Freedom to teach religion had been defended by Lenin before the revolution and guaranteed by law immediately after the revolution, but soon Article 122 of a new criminal code made it a crime, carrying punishment of 1 year's correctional labor to teach religion to children and minors, either in public or in private. Does anybody... Okay, look, I know I haven't got to the part yet where it says they're going to delete Tartarian history, but this is that document. Should I keep going? They're upping the price to $88 if you want to use the shorts feature. What are you talking about? Anyway, in 1929, a direct attack on Islam was begun, which included measures that made active religious life virtually impossible. Islamic leadership was eliminated by the arrest and deportation, if not liquidation, of almost all persons enjoying any religious status. Nearly all village and most city mosques were closed. Religious literature was suppressed through the changing of alphabets, the confiscation of existing religious texts, including the Quran, and the suppression of all publications of a religious nature, and anyone in a responsible position was dismissed if known to be a pious and practicing Muslim. Muslims were to be free to practice their beliefs and customs. That was the Bolshevik promise. But it is not Islam part of those beliefs. It is not the most vital. Is it not the most vital, most deeply cherished part of Muslim life? Yet the communists, in spite of their commitment, have suppressed Islam ruthlessly. Take the matter of mosques, for example. When the communists came to power in 1917, there were 7,000 mosques in European Russia alone, in addition to the unnumbered thousands in Muslim Central Asia, the Caucasus, and Transcaucasia, and the Crimea. But in 1942, the communists themselves admitted that there were then only 1,312 mosques in the whole of the Soviet Union. The others had been confiscated and converted into warehouse or stores, or otherwise desecrated or allowed to fall into ruins. Yet in November 1917 proclamation, the Bolsheviks had condemned the czars for destroying mosques and prayer houses and called for Muslim support so that actions could be brought to an end. Although a few mosques have been built in the post-war period and a few others repaired, the situation is little better than it was in 1942. In Tashkent, for example, where once 300 mosques graced the city before the communists came to power, there are only 20. Samarkand, which formerly had over 100, today has only 17, of which only one is permitted to be used. Bokhara, which is once boasted of 360, has also only one today. Alma-Ata, a Muslim town for centuries and the capital of the Muslim Republic of Kazakhstan, has not a single mosque, nor are any to be found in such large Muslim centers as Novodsk, whatever, Ashgabat, or Stalinabad. The same story holds true for the madrasas, or religious schools. Before the communist regime, there were at least 8,000. The 103 madrasas, which were once the pride of Bokhara's Muslims and which used to train 1,600 mullahs annually, or 16,000 mullahs annually, are no more. Today, there's only one. The only one, in fact, in the entire Soviet Union, which has a mere 105 students who follow a 9-year course. Such is the manner in which the communists honor their promise to respect Muslim beliefs and customs, Muslims' natural and cultural institutions. The same fate that befell the mosques and madrasas also have been the fate of the Sharia, the holy law of Islam. This, too, the communists promise to respect, but we know that a communist promise means, speaking to the Dagestani people, the Tamar Khan Shura, blah blah blah, 13th of November 1920, Stalin declared, "We are informed that the Sharia has great importance for the peoples of Dagestan. We are also informed that the enemies of Soviet power are spreading rumors that the Soviet regime would ban the Sharia. I am authorized to declare here on behalf of the government of the RSFSR that these rumors are lies. The government of Russia leaves to every people the full right to administer itself on the basis of its own laws and customs. The Soviet government considers the Sharia as customary law of the same standing as that in force among the other peoples living in Russia. If it is the desire of the people of the Dagestan, their laws and customs shall be preserved." So, that was Stalin. This is a fine, assuring statement, for could there be a clearer and more binding commitment to the part of the communists to respect the Sharia? Unfortunately, it did not mean anything, for it was only another example of the fact that the communists constantly say one thing and then do another. The truth is that Stalin knew he was speaking a lie, knew that the communists had no intention of respecting Sharia, for only a month earlier, in an article published in the 10th of October 1920, Dagestanis had not seen nor had any way of knowing about it. He had declared, if, for instance, the Dagestani masses, who are profoundly imbued with religious prejudices, follow the communists on the basis of the Sharia, it is obvious that the direct methods of combating religious prejudices in this country must be replaced by indirect and more cautious methods. In other words, political expediency required the communists to make promise now and break them later. This is exactly what the communists did. The Soviet government. This is from the document that is used in the Tartaria movie. So far, it's hardly talked about Tartary at all, except for mentioning in the beginning the promise that the communists made to to certain Tartar groups or Tartarian groups. And it just keeps talking about how the communists make promises and then break them, and they closed down a bunch of mosques, took over a bunch of stuff. The Holy Quran makes it incumbent upon every true believer the faithful observance of the 5 pillars of Islam, profession of the faith, prayer, almsgiving, fasting, and pilgrimage. These all formed an integral part of the beliefs of the customs of the Muslim peoples of Russia, which the communists promised to respect. But today the pillars are prescribed in the Soviet Union. Only the profession of faith can be made without hindrance, but even this must be done in secret unless pious Muslim wishes to run the risk of being subjected to pressure, economic or otherwise, on the part of the authorities. Prayer, too, is impossible for the same reason. In any case, the Muslim worker is not permitted to leave his work to recite his prayers at the appointed times, and the communal Friday prayer is precluded by the absence of mosques and the fact that the Kremlin has decreed that Muslims must observe Sunday rather than the traditional Muslim Friday as the weekly day of rest. The younger generation, having been deprived of religious instruction, is further handicapped by its ignorance of the prayers. So they're basically trying to kill the Muslim faith. Let's see. When does it get to the part about Tartaria? Once the Bolsheviks had consolidated their power, this liberal view of language question began to change, and the great Russian chauvinism once again began to emerge. Lenin saw the danger, and in a letter written to the 31st December 1922, not meant for general publication, he warned that it is necessary to set the strictest rules concerning the use of national languages in national republics which enter the Union to abide by these rules with a special carefulness, there is no doubt that under the pretext of unity of the railroad service, under the pretext of fiscal unity and so forth, with our present apparatus, a mass of abuses of genuinely Russian character will take place. After Lenin's death, the trend he had foreseen gathered more and more strength as the Soviet leaders forgot their early promise not to accord special rights to any single language, blah, blah, blah. Getting tired of reading, so let's just do this. Wonder if I can search. Oh, you know what? Here. I'm gonna have to open it and. It's not matching architecture though. See, that's another misconception. The architecture, okay, so some of it might mimic the architecture that was first done or whatever in ancient Greece, which happens to follow the golden ratio. The golden ratio, which is something that is found in nature and in crystals. Crystals actually naturally grow in the golden ratio. This golden ratio is very attractive to the human eye. So yeah, a lot of things follow that basic form, but as far as like the detail, the craftsmanship, the symbolism, each sort of culture put their own spin on those things. So they have different look, you know, like the Russian buildings have those balls on top, or they have, you know, and then Prague, old Prague buildings have their own look. Old Italian buildings have their own look. So actually, I don't think all of these old buildings all look exactly the same. To be truth be told, they don't. And to make that assumption is like, it's actually insulting to these cultures. It's insulting to these cultures because you're basically saying that they have no identity. They have no cultural identity in their architecture or anything like that. And it's just not true. Let's see. Why is it telling me this can't be scanned? Communist rule. Here we go. Or let us make, so this is, I finally found it. So it's like, clearly it's talking about how these communists, the Bolsheviks or whatever, were basically trying to erase every culture inside of Russia except for the one that they wanted to prosper, right? So here's finally the part at the, whatever page this is, page 10 of this PDF. Such is the manner in which the communists respect Muslim beliefs and customs, Muslims' national and cultural institutions, right? So it's basically saying that the Bolsheviks of Russia treated the Muslims horribly, and other people, other religions too. Let us take the matter of history, which along with religion, language, and literature constitute the core of a people's cultural heritage. Here again, the communists have interfered in a shameless manner. For example, on the 9th of August 1944, the Central Committee of the Communist Party, sitting in Moscow, issued a directive ordering the party's Tartar Provincial Committee to proceed to a scientific revision of the history of Tartaria, to liquidate serious shortcomings and mistakes of a nationalistic character committed by individual writers and historians in dealing with the Tartar history. In other words, Tartar history was to be rewritten, let us be frank, was to be falsified in order to eliminate references to Great Russian aggressions and to hide the facts of the real course of Tartar-Russian relations. And this was no isolated case. In every Muslim area within the USSR, historians on the orders of the Communist Party have rewritten history to distort the facts so that the Russians appear always in a good light. Needless to say, histories which present the facts truthfully have been withdrawn and destroyed so that the present and future generations of Muslims are forever denied the chance of learning the true facts of their nation's past. So this has to do with like Muslims. So I guess Tartaria was Muslim. How does this prove Tartaria? Like what you guys say about Tartaria? Sound frequencies carve the architecture. They used calipers, remember? You guys are just, you're just saying stuff. So you would have to show me two buildings that are exactly identical that they used calipers with, where one is exactly identical to the other and has all the same details and identifiable features, all the same statues, all the same figures and stuff carved into the building or whatever. Show me. Show me. It doesn't exist. Travel was a thing since forever ago, yeah. Yeah, you know, it is a very, if you think about it though, like Freemasonry, especially like all the artwork and stuff in Freemasonry, it follows ancient architecture. That's why the Freemasons, who are the organizations who tend to be in charge of building a lot of these buildings, continue to make Greek style or Roman style grand architecture. Because that's what they like. It doesn't mean that there was a one world ruling class called Tartaria that made buildings everywhere at the same time all over the world. And the other part of that too is that not all these buildings were built at the same time. Like they're hundreds and thousands of years, sometimes hundreds of years apart, sometimes 1,000 years apart, and everybody calls them all Tartaria, which is stupid. It's stupid. Hey, Ben. Hail. Tartars, I think, were nomadic people, experts on horsebacks, and they lived in round tents. It basically became what the Mongols are. It's called the style of architecture specific to its time. Oh, but then I thought you said they were all the same. Like, come on, dude. It really is reaching. It really is reaching. I mean, and even in that old world movie, they used a bunch of AI shit. Bunch of AI pictures to push their ideas. And then they lied too about airships and the history of airships. And also about the timeline of the way of some buildings that were constructed. They act like they straight up lie about stuff. There's the one building they talk about how, oh, it was built and it was so many stories and it just was popped up in a year. But the original part of the building was built 1 year, and then years later they added on to the building and made it taller. And in the movie, they imply that it all happened at the same time. But that's not even the official story to that building. It even says it was originally this part of the building is the first part, and then, you know, like something like 20 or 30 years later, they built this taller part of the building, which actually makes sense historically. But in the movie, they completely lie about it. Get over your hate, Karen. We love you. I don't hate anybody. I just think that these stories that people tell are dumb and they're easily debunked and they have no resemblance to reality. That's all. Happy Monday, and it is stupid. Hey, Raised by Gypsies. I mean, there's so many different ways you can build stuff, right? And so once somebody, figures out a cool way to build something, other people want to know. They get, popularity or whatever. They patent stuff. They make money teaching people how to build or do whatever this thing is that they discovered how to do. I mean, that's just how things work, I just, there's nothing really there's a couple of things like that one person said that some of the megalithic stuff is kind of a mystery, but most of the stuff that people talk about as being like a mystery aren't really that mysterious. They really aren't. I'm just saying. Your vitriol gives me a sense of hate. My vitriol. I just think you're offended. Not all single-story ranch houses are the same, but they're all single-story ranch houses. Right. And also, a lot of these buildings, they're built to be, what do you call them? Landmark buildings. Like, they're built with that purpose. Like the building of National Archives, which in that Old World movie, they talk about the big iron doors and the building of archives. And if you go look up that building and read about the architect who designed it and why they have the big doors, and they do it because it's supposed to be symbolic of this country and what it stands for. And it houses, the national documents or whatever. It's supposed to be an important building of the country. It's supposed to be a landmark. It's supposed to be megalithic. They did that on purpose. That is why the big building has the big doors, because it's meant to leave an impression. It's meant to be an important place. It's not supposed to be a normal piece of construction. A lot of these buildings they're not meant to be somebody's house that, everyday people live in. They're meant to be landmarks. They're meant to be monumental. They're meant to leave an impression. They're meant to be these impressive pieces of architecture that sort of show the height of human craftsmanship for the time. I just don't understand why now, fast forward to current times, people feel the need to, basically you are being what the Bolsheviks are in this document, who want to erase Tartarian history. You want to erase the history of different cultures and then call it all Tartaria. The irony of it to me is hilarious, You know, it's like now, you know, you guys are like basically doing what their Bolsheviks are being accused of in this document. You're erasing a cultural history of people like everywhere, all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Like not just one, not just America, but like all kinds of, you guys are just like, you didn't build that. We like Obama, you didn't build that. That's Tartarian. Anyway, whatever. Hey, Mark Sargent. The dwarves dug too greedily and too deep. But if you think about it, the dome is kind of universal, sort of like the dome, our dome of vision. Every human sees the world that way. So like the dome representing the sky is really not that far-fetched for multiple cultures to do that. Today's architectural buildings are nothing but garbage. How far we have fallen. Yeah. But they didn't build it. They couldn't build it. Whatever. You're just saying stuff. What about these people that do that kind of stuff now? Like, I even follow on Instagram these people that do modern stonework on churches and cathedrals in modern times. And the guys like post their work. Dude, you guys go to Instagram and search up stone workers, stonemasons, and you'll see all kinds of extraordinary stuff being done by normal humans who just have a little bit of knowledge that you don't have. They have a little bit of working knowledge about a trade that you don't have, and they do things that you would never even think to do, like split big boulders in half with just a hammer and some spikes. You know? That's all I'm saying. Just because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean that nobody knows how to do it. You guys gotta... Humans, listen, you guys are... It's like you guys are forgetting that we are allegedly created in the image of the Creator. We are co-creators in this realm. We are creative, intelligent, resourceful, skilled beings of this plane. Well, some of us are, and the ingenuity, the human ingenuity, the genius that some people have, the thought process, the imagination that turns into reality, the manifestation. Like, you guys are completely forgetting about what it is to be human. You're like totally discounting other humans or past humans' creations that they put forth in this huge creation, which is made for us to come forth and put through our creations, which makes us co-creators in this realm. And you guys are saying, we didn't build that. They didn't do that. It's magic. The giants did it. The Nephilim did it. Jesus did it. I mean, it's like, I really feel like you guys are, I don't know if that's like a result of the dumbing down of people in general. Like, is technology making us so dumb that now, like, you don't even think that people could build buildings by piling blocks on top of each other? Like, come on! Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Oh my gosh, did I miss anything?
I don't know, did you?
I just want to get your mind onto another subject. Is that okay? Or you still want to ranting on your rant?
No, you can change the subject. It's good. I'm sure somebody will bring it back up.
No, I'm going to stop all that. We don't need that today, Karen. How you doing, BB?
I'm all right.
Hey, I'm just a middleman, okay? I like everything to go nice for everyone. But anywho, just want to change the topic. I'm leaving the quack's office right now. So. All my life, the 25 years I've been in practice, when I went to school for chiropractic, to become a doctor, they always say that we're quacks,
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, that we're ambulance chasers, Holy shit, the dental office has become the equivalent of an ambulance chaser. They're trying to smack me down, hold me down to like thousands of dollars of dental work, and it's crazy, up to like 4,000. That's just in their office.
Damn.
Yeah, and then they want me to, go see an endodontist to look further into my teeth, and oh my God, it's crazy, Karen. It is crazy. But yeah, I brought up about the MSO and MMS as Shillingtano and who's that? Chilster was saying, everyone, and oregano oil and clove oil,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, they've never heard of it. Seems like.
Oh, the dentist
They don't know
office?
anything. Yeah, for the pain, for the tooth and stuff, and they have no idea.
Well, they would have to
of
know
anything
about
else.
clove. I'd be surprised they didn't know about clove, because you can go to like any grocery store and get a toothache kit, and that's literally what it is like a little bottle of clove oil.
Oh, okay. Well, I asked the dentist, so I don't know. He didn't know.
No, because
I even asked about
because they want to
about
prescribe
urine.
you
He's like,
drugs. They want to prescribe you drugs, and then they want to get kickbacks from the pharmaceutical companies for putting you on drugs.
oh yeah, of course. It's crazy, but you should see his look when I asked him about urine therapy. He's like, what? Maybe he got excited. He thought I wanted him to pee in my mouth. I don't know.
Oh my God.
No, but it's crazy. I mean, it is crazy. These guys are crazy. But anywho, I walked out. It was a free visit, so it's pretty cool. I haven't been to a dentist in like 5 or 6 years, and so I'm gonna try everything else out other than what they're recommending.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited for Saturday. I got a lot of work to do, but I'll be there. Probably Christmas Day. I'll be up in Sparkle City.
Okay.
I got a lot of prep to do for the party because I'll be cooking prior to it. But yeah, just come out, bring your dancing shoes, and we'll have a good time, Karen, if you can make it, you and Ted and the kids.
Okay. I actually don't think my children will be with me that day, so it would just be me and Ted. I thought they were, but they're not. Yeah.
Oh hell. Okay. All right. Well, I sent the. Then we got a party, right? But I sent the message. I sent the invite to Cammie. I totally forgot. I thought you guys would invite her. So anytime I send you guys invite, you can invite each other. You know that, right?
Yes. I just don't always think about it.
Yeah, me too. I thought, because I'm like, that's why I like to get people together and to do things. But yeah, anytime you guys get an invite from me, I'll just let you know that you can always invite other people. You don't have to ask me. It's like a BYOB party. You know what I mean? Bring your own, but mine is BYOP. Bring your own peeps. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Jonna got the invite too. She's coming. I think she's gonna bring Cammie. So
Okay.
that'll be cool.
Awesome.
Okay, so it'll be a good time dancing. I'm gonna break out my dancing shoes as well. I think I'm gonna have to dance some. Let's see how much rhythm Ted's got in his bones.
Oh, none. He's total white boy.
I knew it.
Total white boy rhythm.
I knew it. Somehow I suspected that. All right, that's good, Queen Bee. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay.
Well, anyway, yeah, it was great chatting with everyone in chat, and just to know, if I'm not in chat, I'm always lurking.
Always lurking. Lurking law.
Oh, there you go. I'm gonna change my my name to that in the chat. I think.
Lurking Law. That's hilarious.
No, I'm gonna be La Lurker. How about that, La Lurker?
Law Lurker. There you go.
Anyway, I just thought I'd brighten up your day, get your mind off of things. Okay, everyone in chat, hey, it's all good. It's all good. It's good to see everyone in chat, even if I didn't say hello. It's good to see everyone.
Yes.
All right,
Law.
Okay, love everyone. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Law.
Yep. Later, Queen Bee.
Later. Yeah, see, Law likes Tartaria and all that stuff too, and we're still friends. We don't have to not be friends because I don't like it. Just don't expect me to get on board with it. That's all. Just don't be mad at me. Don't be mad. Salam alaikum. Clove oil is great for tooth problems, but never swallow that stuff. Well, I mean, the DMSO version, there's no spitting it out. When you put it on your tooth, I mean, how do you get it out? There's no spitting it out. Just don't take a whole bunch of it. Are your children truthers? Well, they ask me questions, and I've never hid anything from them. So like when they were really small when I became a flat earther, but I just still taught them everything. I taught them everything about what they say the globe is and how the heliocentrism works. I just told them both ways, both sides of it. That's all. And they were, they're fine. I let them make their own decisions. I don't want to be the thought police, I just spent a lot of time teaching them how to question things and do their own research, and it's made them very intelligent young people, and they're doing very well in school. They get very good grades, and I enjoy them very much as human beings, so that's my daughter will ask me questions. She'll be like, well, what do you think such and such is? And then I tell her, and she's like, well, that actually kind of makes sense. That makes more sense than I thought it would. Like, almost disappointed. But all I can do is talk to them, have conversations with them, and then they gotta make up their own mind about stuff. I didn't call you stupid. Did I call you stupid? I called the Tartaria stuff stupid. But I will call the My Lunch Break guy stupid. That guy is stupid. Or he's smart and he knows how to manipulate people with his stupid shit. What if Tartar was the hard R back in the day? Yeah, actually, what I learned reading some of this literature that talks about Tartaria, that one X account, that Tartarian X account has links to, is that Tartarians had a horrible reputation. Like, they had a reputation for being brutal AF. Like, brutal. So, they were not to be messed with. They were not, I heard people talk about, they were like, everything was so great when Tartaria ruled the world. When Tartaria ruled the world, they had free energy and everybody had everything that they needed, and it was so benevolent and loving and wonderful, and free energy and free love and all of this wonderful stuff. But then if you actually read the books that talk about that people write who travel, because rich people would travel and then they would write books about their travels. Well, when they would write about traveling to Tartaria, they would be like, what a brutal group of people, they had a gnarly reputation, Tartaria, those people they didn't have their own country borders set up, but boy did they defend their territory, and managed to hold on to it for quite some time. Yes, they did. But they were not benevolent. Tartarius. Hey, what's up, Andrew B? Well, I mean, you know, if you want to take it personally, take it personally. You can call tarot stupid. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it and be like, oh, so you think that I'm stupid because I read tarot cards? Like, I'm not going to, I just don't care. A lot of people, dude, people talk shit all the time, every day. I get ripped on all the time, every other day. You don't see me crying about it. All right? Stop being so soft. Bought coffee at a gas station. I have reused the paper cup 10 times now. What if everyone did this with everything? 10 times? It still works? A paper cup? Really? Tartarians were like Mongolians or ancient Huns. Exactly, dude. They were brutal. Anyway. What else is going on? What else do you guys want to talk about? Or do we still want to cry about Tartaria? I'm a softie at heart. Yes, you are, Dr. Law. Barbar was a slur that Italian used for northern tribes. That's where barbarian came from. Really? I wonder why. Hey, Flat Earth Austin. Yes. Your dislike for Tartarians is the problem, not my suggestion of its possible truth. Do you mean real Tartarians or pretend Tartarians? Because I don't dislike real Tartarians. Do you mean the real ones or the pretend ones that people make videos about and make up stories about? I mean, that's not my problem, that's your problem. Aluminum cans have a plastic liner? They do. Yes, they do. Anyway, on that note, hey, Methinks Bear. Because the northern tribes, Germans would raid the northern Italy villages and steal shit. Oh, okay. So the Germans are the barbarians. Ted's German. He's a barbarian. I'm just kidding. He's actually really awesome. Animal whisperer guy. Media could not be loaded either because the network server. Oh my god, I never hit go live on Rockfin. Oof. I never hit go live on Rockfin. I suck. Live 18 seconds ago. Media could not be loaded because the server or network failed because the format is not supported. Dude, Rockfin hates us people. You know that? Hates us. I'm still wondering how I still have a Rockfin channel at all. Before Germany was a country, this was Roman times. The barbarians were from Barbary. Feral as shit over here. Beer and soda taste better from glass bottles. Yeah, I like glass too. Half German, half Slav. Right on. I would just like to see, it's just funny how, once you start looking at all that stuff, it really does fall apart, the whole YouTube Tartarian narrative. Real Tartaria is different. Anyway. So, 13 Holy Nights. I'll start doing this week. Let you guys know how it goes. Yeah. Maybe we can talk about this. Oh, by the way, Bitches Brew. Bitches Brew is coming back next weekend. This weekend now, since we just came out of the weekend. This weekend, December 28th on Sunday at 7 p.m. I have not set up the stream yet. I need to make a thumbnail and set up the stream. But that is when we will be doing a new episode of Bitches Brew. Sunday, December 28th, 7 p.m. right here. Our bohemians from the Bahamas. Happy Saturnalia, everyone. Yes. Yes, I do hope that you guys all have a wonderful Christmas. Whatever it is you do for Christmas and the holidays, the holy days, whatever it is, it's cool. Enjoy your family. Make some good food. Make some sugary desserts. That's what I'm going to do. Me and my daughter are going to make some sugary desserts. And, I don't know. I got to figure out what kind of dinner I want to make for Christmas. Because I don't do ham. But anyway, I want you all to have a wonderful holiday week. And then I will see you all Sunday evening for Bitches Brew. And then I will most likely be back the following Monday for yet another episode of Coffee Talk with Karen B. If you so desire to be here. And, get me all triggered on Tartaria again. Why not? Why not? The Bitches of Brewberia. Caramel puff corn crack. Ooh. Practice automatic writing this year as a part of my journaling, Karen. Seeing if you can pull through some ideas, inspiration through my own channel, not just the cards. Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. I don't celebrate Nimrod's birthday. Bitches boo. Yes. Yes. All right, you guys. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Oh, thank you, Tony, for the super chat. Any chance you could get good with ADV for a future Bitches Brew? I'd love that. I mean, it's possible. I mean, I'm not, in an argument with her or anything, but, when the hurricane came through and Greg Reese made that video saying that Kings Mountain about, that whole thing about lithium, and I was the only one who was like, yeah, this hurricane has nothing to do with them trying to, steal land for lithium. That has never come forward, and it's been over a year. That never came to fruition. And he made that video saying that Kings Mountain was flooded, and then I had to go to Kings Mountain, and I made a video showing how Kings Mountain was less affected even than my town by the hurricane. They had power back before I did. And so she was sharing the Greg Reese thing, and I was commenting on there. I was like, no, you guys, this isn't correct. There's nothing going on in Kings Mountain. And she was like, you only come out to throw shade. And I'm like, but you guys are sharing wrong information. Anyway, that's all it was. It was nothing like serious. But we'll see. We'll see in the future. I definitely would like to start doing the Bitches Brew thing, maybe once a month or once every couple of months, but more regularly. It's been I think 2 or 3 years since we did a Bitches Brew. So, yeah, I definitely want to bring it back, and I would definitely like to bring in as many different bitches as possible, as long as they're fine with being part of the Bitches Brew. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Have a wonderful Christmas, you guys. Take care. Hug your family. Eat good food. Eat, drink, be merry. And we'll see you Sunday for Bitches Brew. Yeah, buddy. You can send physical mail to P.O. Box 10, Earl, North Carolina, 28038. You can also follow me on Ko-Fi.com, and if you enjoy my shows and want to send me a tip, anything and everything is greatly appreciated, and thank you. And it's official. Flat Earth Festivals has been retired. It was great fun while it lasted, and I hope you all cherish the memories we made at Flattoberfest as much as I do, and it was a pleasure to watch so many online friendships become in real life friendships over the years. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.